Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central CFL content for the fans, by the fans, and we have our Week 20 preview coming right up. And we got 4 games this week with 2 very, very big games. Me and Rick have a little bit of a disagreement on which game we feel is a little bit more important in regards to the standings, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, both games are very important, regardless of which one maybe has the slight edge over the other. And so if you haven't already, make sure you guys leave a like on the video. Helps out the channel a ton. And subscribe, as it's very helpful, as I mentioned. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you give us 5 stars. We very much appreciate it. Rick, shall we get into the first game?
Sure.
So, can we go through the, this will be the Winnipeg Blue Bombers taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders at home. Riders are going to be sitting a fair amount of players and resting some guys, to the dismay of Trevor Harris, as he definitely wanted to play the game the way that he had done his interviews on that. Can we get the injury report for the Saskatchewan Roughriders to start it out?
Okay, so you have Sean Bain, wide receiver, available. Tevion Campbell, DB head, available. Jackson Ford, DB knee, out. Trevor Harris, quarterback, load management, available, but he's not playing. That I know of. Let me just double check.
He's not on the depth chart.
Yeah, he is. He's the 3rd string quarterback.
I didn't even notice that. I just didn't see him at the top and just.
Micah Johnson, defensive line, load management, out. Keyshawn Johnson, wide receiver, knee, out. Brett Lothar, back, available. Nelson Lacombo, DB ankle, out. Dante Myers, I should say. Wide receiver ankle, out. Aubrey Miller Jr., linebacker knee, available. Roland Milligan Jr., DB foot knee, out. AJ Olette, load management, out. Shane Ray, DL, neck, out. Marcus Sales, DB ankle, out. Malqua Straker, DB or linebacker illness, out. Tommy Stevens, knee, out. And Trayvon Tate, offensive line pectoral, out.
Okay. And on the Winnipeg side of things?
Micah Vanderpool, offensive line, non-injury related, available. Peyton Logan, running back, non-injury related, available. Nick Dembski, hamstring, out. Wheatfall, wide receiver, non-injury related, available. Dylan Mitchell, non-injury related, available. Trey Vavel, DB ankle, questionable. He's in the depth chart. Demario Houston, DB non-injury related. He's playing. Michael Griffin, DB knee doubtful, and Ednock Maconzo, DB elbow out.
So, our little it's funny, our little disagreement that we had, and I don't want to dive in too much into this because I know we were going at it for about a good 20 minutes at least about it. I personally believe that the Edmonton BC game is a bigger factor in regards to how this all plays out, as if Edmonton wins that game. It is mathematically possible that we could get a 4-way tie in the West between BC, Calgary, Winnipeg, and Edmonton, in which case it would then go to the division record, which means that Winnipeg would actually lose that and Winnipeg would get eliminated from the playoffs. Again, Edmonton would need to play a perfect hand in order for that to happen. Whereas Rick is more of the mindset that the Winnipeg game is a bit more important. As regardless of if Edmonton wins that game, though they're not mathematically eliminated, it is still exceedingly rare. And so, but with this game, Winnipeg is dressing most of a full roster here. Obviously, Dylan Mitchell and Dembski out of the lineup. Two decent pieces for them there, with Dembski being the big one. But Demerio Houston comes back into the lineup, as well as Wheatfall. And then Cobb is going to be coming in at slot back for Winnipeg. And so with Winnipeg here, this is a game where I'm not going to lie, there's no excuse to lose this game. Winnipeg, in general, plays better at home. They haven't won against Saskatchewan this year in the regular season. And Saskatchewan is playing a significantly weaker lineup. I'm not of the mindset that if Winnipeg somehow loses this game, that means that they have no chance in the playoffs. Just because, I'll put it this way, I've seen Winnipeg lose some pretty easy games like this down the stretch in some of the prior years, and they still ended up making it to the Grey Cup because playoffs are just a different animal. But I would definitely be concerned if Winnipeg loses this game. This is a game that Winnipeg is set up to win, and they need to do that. And so, from everything I've seen, it seems that the old Dutch Pick'ems are in that line with that. But before we get to that, Rick, what is kind of your opinion on this game?
So my whole thing is, and I'm just saying, if this is just my opinion, if Winnipeg does not come out guns a-blazing in this game, even though Saskatchewan has half the team not dressed, I'm sorry, I can't take Winnipeg serious for the playoffs.
Okay.
Because if you think about it,
I get the
next
logic.
they have. Hold on, let me finish. So if they can't beat a half missing team in Saskatchewan, they're playing Montreal next week, of which Montreal's not sitting anyone because they're playing for the division.
Yeah,
but at the same time, depending on what happens the Friday night game, Montreal could turn around and sit half their team.
Yeah.
Because if Hamilton beats Ottawa next week, Hamilton has the division, of which then really I can't see them playing Alexander if they have not a full game anyways, because then you risk him getting injured for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see if Winnipeg, because all those doubters are out there claiming, I should say, in air quotes, that, and I'm sure you've heard it too, that Winnipeg isn't the dynasty that they once were. And if you have, because Mitchell, I'm not really going to say Mitchell's really that big player. They're only missing one big player, and that's Dembski.
Dembski's the main one. Dylan Mitchell is good, but he is no Nick Dembski. This is true.
But what I'm saying is, you guys are probably most likely playing 99% of your starters this week, minus Dembski. So if your starters can't play or beat a half-beaten Saskatchewan team, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's just my theory.
And I agree with you. And do you know what my response to that is? Good thing
we've made the friggin'
good thing there's
West
time
Finals 5 years in a row. Blah.
It's not just that is part of it. The other part of it is good thing it isn't playoffs yet, and there is still time. Stuff can change very quickly. We've seen Edmonton turn around on a dime, and look at where they are now. Whereas earlier in the season, this looked unthinkable.
I will say, though, is my thing with the playoffs, and nothing towards Rider fans, because Rider fans are going to say what I'm about to say is bullshit. If you can't get past Rourke or Alexander in the West or East final, you're not making the Grey Cup. Those are the two roadblocks that are in the way of any third place team.
Yeah.
Because minus last week's big game for Harris. Harris hasn't done much as well.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, Hamilton has had its streaks where they win one, lose one, win 6, lose 1, win 5. So we have yet to see what Hamilton can do.
Yeah. So,
but
who are you
taking
in this game? Are you taking Winnipeg or are you taking Saskatchewan?
I'm taking Winnipeg only because if they don't win, because Winnipeg needs to win to get into third and send Calgary to the east.
If Winnipeg wants to go into the west.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what do you have greater chance against, BC or Montreal?
I don't know. Well, the thing is the other thing is you have to realize is that Winnipeg has a good chance against BC. Their record against BC in the playoffs in years past is impeccable. Their record against BC this season is impeccable. Their record against Saskatchewan this year is not very good. Their record against Montreal is, it's kind of hard to say just because they played Montreal when they were injured halfway to hell, and then they're going to be playing them at the end of the year, and who even knows if they're going to be playing any starters. So Montreal is just an unknown. And then Hamilton, their record is decent against.
Okay, so I will throw this out there then. Mm-hmm. If you guys are in the West, Calgary's in the East, mm-hmm. You guys beat BC, all you need, it's one and done. All you got to do is beat Saskatchewan, and
I know. You know what the thing is, though? Everyone has this fantasy idea of Winnipeg, Saskatchewan Grey Cup in Winnipeg. Like, burn the house down, crazy shit's gonna happen. Banjo Bowl, Labor Day, step aside, there's a new fucking marshal in town, and it's the fucking Grey Cup between these two teams. I will say, this is, I think, the first real time in a long time where we really have a chance of seeing West versus West in the Grey Cup. Not that saying that it's going to happen. I'm not. I'm saying is that of all the times a crossover has happened, this is probably the biggest chance a West team has had. I'm not even saying that it's at 50%. I'm saying as opposed to that Edmonton team that crossed over in 2019, whoever is crossing over this year will probably be able to fare better. Not saying they make the Grey Cup. I'm not. I'm saying they have a higher chance.
I would say for a West-West final, I'm predicting it right now at 25%. Or, sorry, 33.3%, because then that's 3 teams in the East.
No, I agree with that. But all I'm saying is that I think in the past, it's been less than 33%.
Oh, no, I know that. I'm just saying.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
In order to bump it up to 50, you have to get past Montreal, and I just have a hard time in Montreal of that
That's
team.
Fair. But all in all, I'm taking Winnipeg in this game. Who are you taking?
Okay, hold on. Oh, I already told you I'm taking Winnipeg.
And the old Dutch pick'ems are a sweep for Winnipeg, with the exception on the French side of Jean-Philippe Bolduc, who is taking Saskatchewan.
Yes.
So it seems that the people have their faith in Winnipeg in this game.
People have spoken.
The people have spoken.
Mind you, keep in mind, just because it's almost a clean sweep, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a Winnipeg win. Because we know in the past that people that have clean sweep teams don't always get
This is just the predictions. This is just the predictions. This doesn't mean that they're winning anything. This is true. This is true. As much as it hurts me saying that, it is true. So, shall we get to the next game? I think we should.
We shall.
As we are getting to what I believe is the most important game of this week. As if BC wins this game, the teams in the playoffs are confirmed. What is not confirmed is the configuration. As if BC wins, they're for sure in. which they actually might already be in. I can't remember. But Edmonton is guaranteed out if Edmonton loses. Every game for Edmonton is a must-win now. And
to answer that comment, BC needs to win, Winnipeg needs to lose, and Calgary needs to lose in order for BC to clinch a West semifinal home game.
Yeah. So, can we start off with the injury report for the, I believe it was the Edmonton Elks or the away team, yeah.
Yes. So, Nick Anderson, linebacker, abdominal injury. He's questionable. Let's take a look here. He is not playing.
Yeah.
DK Bonhomme, D-line wrist questionable. He's third string on the right defensive end, so he's playing, even though it says questionable. Greg Eland, offensive line available. He's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Tamari Fox, defensive line, doubtful. Fox is not playing. Jonathan Kongbo, defensive line, ribs, doubtful. He's not playing. And then TJ Luther, wide receiver, hamstring, he's out.
Yeah.
If we go to the BC side of things, Dejon Allen, offensive line, arm available. Gerald Broxton, offensive line, arm available. Christian Covington, defensive line, knee out. Jeremiah Jackson, wide receiver, wrist available. Tomasi Little, defensive line, hip available. Justin McInnes, wide receiver, wrist available. Marcus Moore, D-line, elbow available. And Gary Peters, DB, knee available.
So Edmonton, for starters, has in the past few weeks really played some damn good football. Edmonton wants to make the playoffs. They are hungry for playoffs. They are not out of it, and they damn well believe it. And this is a team that, man, if Edmonton plays if they play like the way they're playing right now, for like all of next year, that team makes the playoffs, no question. And so this is something where this is everything for Edmonton. They need this. And BC, though they still have a bit to play for, even though, like, you know, they're not really doing much in the terms of sitting as many key guys. But
I mean, really, they're not even really sitting anyone but Covington.
Exactly. And so this is still, like, this isn't BC's not gonna make it. No, they're not gonna make it easy. You know what I mean? I say that just because sometimes late in the year, guys like Saskatchewan will be sitting a lot of players.
So in their last 4 games, BC has won 38-27, 52-23, 27-22, and 38-24. The only way that the Elks win this week is if Rourke plays shit.
Yeah, and they need that offense to keep producing the way it is.
And
if that offense lets up even a little, they're screwed.
So my whole definition of Rourke playing shit is no rushing touchdowns, keeping him under 1 passing touchdown and like 3 interceptions, no matter how many yards he throws.
Well, and one of the big keys to this in stopping Rourke is stopping the running game. The running game of James Butler. And the reason is because if the running games of James Butler is performing well, then the defense is forced to look more for those run plays. And every time they look more for those run plays, that's times where they're less prepared for the pass. And that's where Rourke will burn you. Is when a defense is tricked even for the slightest bit of time into that it's a run play and they're a little bit out of position and then Rourke kills him on the pass. And so keeping James Butler controlled is huge. And actually, that might be the key to the game for both teams here. I think the key to whoever's going to win this game is going to be whoever does a better job at defending the run game. Justin Rankin, he is a threat for Edmonton. Edmonton was smart as shit for locking him up for 2 years. Honestly, the only thing they could have done that would have been any smarter is if they locked him up for 4, and just kept him around even longer. But in the CFL, that's not really something you usually see. The only guy you can think of besides quarterbacks that have deals like that is like Austin Mack, at least in recent memory. But I think the key to the game is going to be stopping the run game for both BC and Edmonton. And whoever does a better job at that, they're going to win the game.
I mean, you could still have 2 shitty run games. It's all up to the quarterbacks.
I know, but the thing is that it's unlikely that both teams don't have the run. Like, usually in a game, one team will do a little bit better at stopping the run game than the other. I'm saying whichever way that leans, it probably favors them, because it's not just about stopping the running game. It's about when Brady Oliveira gets these big rushes, that means that Zach Collaros when he does pass, he has a higher likelihood of success, because the defense, specifically your linebackers, aren't going to have all of their attention focused to the pass. If you have no run game, then they know you're passing, because they know that the run game isn't going anywhere. They don't need to worry about that. That's not a threat. So they can double down their coverage, their zone coverage. They can get double teams on guys. They can afford to kind of cheat and know that you're not going to rush, or at least rush successfully. And so they can play extra guys in the zone and even play a couple guys in man coverage mixed with your zone coverage. And so when you have a good rushing game and you keep those linebackers having to talk and communicate, and between each play constantly figuring out run or pass, makes a huge difference in terms of how much allowance that quarterback has to do his job. The more allowance that quarterback has to do his job, the easier it is for them to be successful. My point is, if you give Nathan Rourke an inch, he's taking a mile. And same with Cody Fajardo in the way he has performed recently.
Just my thing is, like, so if I know this is a weird comparison. If you take the first game between the Ticats and Toronto, neither team had a rushing game. It was all passing. And Hamilton put up 52 points on Toronto.
Yep.
If you look at the third game, both teams had a rushing game, but you still put up points on the other team.
Yeah.
So if there's no rush game, you can still win. Yeah. But that means that team's gonna have to throw more passing touchdowns.
Yep. I'm just saying those passing touchdowns become harder. That's all I'm saying. But I agree with you.
So I'm just saying, in order for Edmonton to win, Rourke has to play dog shit.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening.
So
not at home anyways.
I'm personally taking BC with this game. I think BC's got a better chance here.
If you think I'm taking Edmonton, you're high, my friend.
And what are the Old Dutch pick'ems?
Old Dutch pick'ems have. Let me go back here since I'm using my laptop today. So the French have a sweep of BC. And Miss Constable is the only team that picked Edmonton.
Oh, Christina?
Yes.
Ah. Interesting. Shall we get to the next one?
We shall, which we also have...
we don't
have depth charts for those. The first 2 games we did.
Okay, but can we call this a no contest?
Can we just say that Montreal's
Can we just say Montreal's winning? Can we just say that Montreal is winning? Because, sorry, like, Ottawa is starting who?
Tyree Adams which is basically, so hold on, let me explain this. So if you look at the beginning of the season, it was Brown, Matt Schultz, Crum, Adams. So Adams was your fourth string at the beginning of the season. You now have Brown injured, Schultz is playing, but he's not starting. Why, I don't know. Crum's injured, so now you have Adams. Unless they want to see what they have for Adams next year, and that's why they're playing him.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they feel they need a bigger
Because
bigger
I
sample size.
actually, you know what? Before I go into the injury report, I want to see something. I want to see Trey Adams. Come on. Okay, do they really? They don't even have. Okay, why won't? Okay, I guess I have to go to last year because they're not pulling up the stats for this year or anything for this year for that matter. So we want to go to last year, and we're gonna go to Ottawa. No, filter. What the heck? On their website, it said that he played 6 games. So he must not have played last year. So Trey Adams has fully not played a game since 2023. Wow. And in 2023, he was 23 for 37 for 62.2%, 314 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. But let's see.
Do you want to go through the injury report or no? Or do we just want to give a verdict?
I mean, so this is at TD Place Stadium.
Maybe just, you know what, go through the injuries just so that way we can see who's injured. And then I think we'll do a really, really short deliberation. We'll get this game out of the way because there's really not much to talk about here. And then we'll get on to the last one.
So, Sean Lemon, James Morgan, Robert Kennedy, Jamar McGloster, and Riley McNeil are all available. The only one that's out for Montreal is James Letcher Jr. with a lower leg injury. If I go to the hospital known as Red Blacks in Ottawa, you have Bennett Williams, DB, knee out. Justin Howell, DB, hamstring available. Les Murrow, linebacker, knee out. Chase McGowan, D-line, calf out. Drew Brown, knee questionable, so there's a possibility that he could dress, not play, though. Devontae Dedman, running back, load management available. Charlie Ringland, DB, quad out. Lucas Cormier, linebacker, head out. Kini Oyaka, D-line, hamstring out. Cleon Lang, D-line, calf out. Drew Desjardins, offensive line, back questionable. Dustin Crum, head injury, out. Daniel Okapoko, offensive line, out. And Eric Starzala, offensive line, out. And it's a clean sweep for Montreal for the Pick'ems.
Yeah, and that's where I am. And I think that's where you are, unless maybe you lost your marble since the last time we talked.
No, I'm not that high.
Okay, so shall we get to the last one?
Sure.
As I think this one will go a little bit quicker as well.
So this one is at, as you would say, Mock Mahan Stadium. If you want to say it clearly.
I say McMahon. I don't say McMahon. I say McMahon.
Well, if you go by the Argo player, it's Makmahan.
Do you call him Vince McMahon or do you call him Vince McMahon?
It all depends on who you speak with.
I've always called it McMahon, but fair enough.
For
So
injury-related stuff, Nick Arbuckle is out.
yeah, so this is
Darius
at.
Brett.
I was just gonna say
This
this
is
is Toronto
Toronto
versus Calgary in Toronto. We
in
never specified
Calgary.
that. So in Calgary,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
that's why I said it's at Makmahan Stadium.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that.
Darius Bratton, DB groin available. Andrew Chatfield, D line out with foot injury. Darius Sirocco available. DeMonte Coxey, wide receiver out. Devarius Daniels, wide receiver hip out. Sage Dockstader, offensive line elbow out. Dylan Giffen, offensive line back out. John Eguard, DB foot out. Thadrick Hansen, defensive line calf out. Chad Kelly, quarterback leg out. Anthony Lanier, D-line ankle out. Whit McManus, linebacker groin out. Jeremiah Ojo, defensive line knee out. Jamin Pelly, defensive line illness available. Anthony Vandal, offensive line ankle. And Malin Williams out for running back. For Calgary, this is even as long. Jeshron Antwi is available, running back. Sheldon Arnold, DB hand questionable. Adam Bighill, linebacker load management available. Maurice Blackwell, DB ankle out. Logan Bonner, QB load management available. Eric Brooks, wide receiver hip available. Joshua Croker, offensive line knee out. Deontay Demiri, offensive line shoulder available. Ante Hay, DB shoulder out. Malik Henry, wide receiver load management available. Thomas Jack, Kurd Yella, offensive line out. Jason Javier Messier, defensive line shoulder out. Anthony Johnson, DB shoulder questionable. Ben Labrose, DB hamstring available. Lorenzo Malden, defensive line ankle questionable. Sean Peterson Jr., defensive line ankle available. Jalen Philpott, wide receiver head available. Lance Robinson, DB shoulder out. Justin Sambu, D-line illness questionable. Jackson Sambach, defensive back ankle out. And Damian Webb, DB pectoral out. One thing I will say about this is this is Toronto's last game of the season.
Yep.
Because they're on a bye next week.
Yeah.
So this is your prove it you want a contract for next season game.
Yeah.
I mean, so was last week, but
yeah, before
this is the one where they dressed all of the no name players.
Yep. Yeah, Toronto's got kind of nothing that they're playing for here as a team, as a collective group, whereas with Calgary they're playing for a playoff spot. I don't. Even though I could see Toronto having some success here and there in the game, I don't see it amounting to a win.
I want to see. Oh, CFL, get your shit together. If I say CFL news, I want CFL news. I want to see if they have. Oh, here we go. Okay, so basically, how it works is, as far as playoffs go, if Ottawa wins, it's not going to happen. But if Ottawa wins, Hamilton clinches East Division. BC wins, Winnipeg secures a playoff spot. Winnipeg loss, Edmonton loss, or Calgary win, Calgary clinches playoffs. Winnipeg loss, BC win, Calgary loss. BC will host this semifinals. So those are the thoughts on the playoff games this week.
Yep. So, where do you the old Dutch
Where do I
Pickens has a
see this
Calgary.
game?
The old Dutch Pickens have a Calgary sweep.
Well, I'm picking. Let me go back here for a second.
I'm picking Calgary.
See, this is where I wish I had the Toronto depth chart.
Yeah.
Only because here's the thing. Last week, was it last week? I gotta go back to the schedule for a second. It was. Yeah, so last week, Toronto only lost by 8 to Saskatchewan.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious to see if this is going to be a blowout or if this is going to be a close game.
Oh, yeah.
But either way, I'm picking Calgary on this just because of how beat up Toronto is. But my question is, for West teams, do you cheer for a Winnipeg or a Calgary win so that they can clinch a playoff spot? Or
whoa, what do you mean for West teams? Which West team? You got to specify that.
I'm saying West teams in general.
I think those interests do not align. Like, are you saying for themselves?
No, I'm saying like if you're, I'll put it this way: if you're BC, for example,
okay,
you're cheering for if you're Winnipeg, you're cheering for a BC win.
Absolutely, no question.
But like for a team like, for example, Saskatchewan, are you cheering for a Calgary win, which Calgary clinches a playoff berth? Or are you cheering for, say, a Calgary loss? Because then BC would host the semifinal. Now, keep in mind...
It's up to you. I'm going to be honest. I think if you're Saskatchewan, you don't really care, as it's not real. It's kind of out of your control at this point. You're the West final. You have that game to prepare for.
I mean,
you can't really control at that point who's coming for you.
I'm not saying the team. I'm saying that team's fans.
Because yeah, I'm saying as a fan though, I'll put it this way: if I was in Saskatchewan's shoes, if you'd ask me who do you want to win, I'd be like, I don't really care. At the end of the day, I don't know who we're going to be playing against, and this game has no impact on who Saskatchewan's playing in the playoffs.
No, but it would say, okay, if Calgary loses, BC would host the semifinal. Then it's like, okay, well then, if Calgary and BC win, the playoffs are pretty much clinched. Now you got to think of, okay, who's going to play who?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, well, if we want, you know what I mean? It's like, you got to sit down and think, okay, who do we want to go out east and who do we want to go out west? Even though they don't have a say, it's
To be honest, I think we've covered all the bases, Rick. Is there anything else that you think we're missing, Rick?
No.
So, I think that'll probably conclude here. So just to confirm, I have Calgary here, and you have.
We basically all have the same teams.
We have the same predictions exactly. Okay.
Yes.
Now, don't you go changing them on me, Rick. Because I heard you change one last week.
Yeah, but I'm not changing it for an Edmonton, BC.
I know. Anyways, though, I think that's pretty much all we got. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys leave a like on the video, subscribe if you have not already. And we'll see you next time. And make sure you guys tune in later, as we're going to be releasing a video on the now announced Grey Cup halftime show, which will this year be Machine Gun Kelly, as well as we'll talk about the SiriusXM kickoff show, which is arguably almost as big of a deal as it's Our Lady Peace this year. Canadian band performing to kick off the game. So make sure you guys tune into that video. That should be out later today. So peace, love, and positivity to all you wonderful people at home. And we will see you guys next time.